I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11 Alive Weather Impact Team. There is a lot of buzz, a lot of discussion going on out there about what type of weather we're going to see for the beginning of January through the middle of January, with a lot of stuff circulating here on social media where folks are sharing some model data that's already outdated, some of those showing some snowfall amounts that were just outrageous. So I wanted just to take a little time just to talk to you about the challenges of winter forecasting, and there's a lot more to it than just picking out a model and posting it on social media. What we do as meteorologists is we look at the models not as exactly telling us what's going to happen, but we look at the models for guidance, and we compare all of those models. And then we use our knowledge as meteorologists to try to forecast what is going to happen. The problem is when you try to forecast really beyond 7 days, that ability to be really precise about that forecast really goes down a good bit. So when forecasting winter weather, this is what we do when we look at the models. Really, about 7 to 10 days out, we just look at the models and we try to see any type of pattern recognition about what kind of patterns are favorable for any winter weather to occur. Then, once we get into 5 to 7 days, we continue looking at that to see if the trends are going up or down on the potential for any winter weather, whether that would be cold air or snow or ice, anything like that. Then when we get 3 to 5 days out, that's when we can be a little more specific about timing and the storm type. And that's when we can narrow in a little bit more on whether that'd be more likely to be snow or sleet or maybe even ice that could develop an ice storm. Then 1 to 3 days out, we're able to get a lot more detailed with that as to what kind of amounts we could see, the location of the snow or ice, and maybe that snow line between snow or rain, as well as a little more precise on the timing of what we think is going to happen. So let's break down first, just over the next few days, what we think we're going to be seeing here. And we do have a cold front that is on the way. That'll be arriving later in the day here on Tuesday. That front has very limited moisture with it. We'll have some clouds around and maybe a couple of sprinkles over far north Georgia with the passage of that front coming through. But really, most of us are going to stay dry here during the day on Tuesday. With that front, though, even though it has limited moisture, it does have some colder air back behind it, and we're going to see temperatures dropping later on Tuesday, and then cold air Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then another surge of cold air coming in for the weekend, and then even more cold air next week. We're going to have multiple surges of Arctic air that'll be moving our way, so it's not going to be just a cold blast that lasts a day or two. We're going to see more of that reinforcing cold air coming in here, and we're going to have days and days and days of temperatures that are going to be below the average. So on Tuesday, we start off not bad. Temperatures in the 50s. We'll have a few of those clouds around. During the day, the sunshine is going to return. We're going to see the temperatures into the mid-60s here on Tuesday, getting up to about 65 degrees. That'll be at or just after lunchtime. And then as the front moves through, we'll watch those temperatures falling later into the afternoon and then dropping even more once we get into the evening hour. So starting off on Tuesday morning, the only real moisture ahead of that front is going to be mainly in the form of some clouds around. And as you see here in North Georgia, there might be just a couple little blips there indicating where we can see just a few of those raindrops around. At lunchtime on Tuesday, notice these winds coming out of the south and west. That's giving us still another warm day on Tuesday with highs in the mid-60s. But once the front comes through in the afternoon, look what happens with these arrows. They start to move and come out of the west and then eventually the northwest. And that's what's going to be ushering in the colder air that we're going to start feeling here on Wednesday. Now, I do think Wednesday morning, we're going to start off with temperatures that are going to be generally there in the upper 30s. And then throughout the day here on Wednesday, our highs are only going to be getting into the 50s. So we're going to go from mid-60s on Tuesday to generally lower 50s here on Wednesday. And then going into Thursday, once we get into the early morning hours, I'm thinking we'll wake up with temperatures right around freezing. And then in the afternoon here on Thursday, Still those temperatures only getting into the 50s, and then more cold air on a Friday as well, with another day with temperatures, another morning with temperatures that are going to be around the freezing mark. So we have just that one more day here on Tuesday with those temperatures in the mid 60s, but I want you to watch what happens. The leading edge of that colder air starts to move in once we get into the later afternoon hours, and then through the evening and then during the day on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, that just opens the door here with that northwest flow to more of that cold air that's going to continue pushing into our area here for not only the middle of the week, but also for the end of the week as well. And it won't even be over on Friday, too. We're going to go from the lows around freezing there on Thursday and Friday with highs in the lower 50s to then Saturday and Sunday, we're talking about lows that will be in the 20s in the mornings and highs only in the 40s. And then it gets even colder after that. So here's what we're watching. Tuesday morning, starting off in the upper 40s, lower 50s, then upper 30s Wednesday morning. And there you see these freezing temperatures and near freezing temperatures Thursday and Friday. Saturday, we're down to about 28 degrees. High temperatures also will be getting colder. 65 for a high Tuesday. Lower 50s here in the afternoons on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Now remember, average high for this time of year is 54 degrees, so we'll be just a little bit below the average for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then for the weekend, more of those high temperatures that will be in the mid 40s. And we're not stopping there with the cold air. The 8 to 14 day temperature outlook is indicating, and we're feeling pretty comfortable with the trends that we're seeing, even though this is beyond 7 days here. But again, we look for the trends of what the models are showing, and they've been really consistent in that 8 to 14 day time frame with some really cold air that'll be moving in. There could be even a couple of days there in the middle of January where we may not even move above freezing. Again, that's way out there. That could all change, but we're talking about some lows getting closer to the middle of January in the teens with highs for a couple of days that may not get to just at or even a little bit below freezing for an extended period. So I want you to be prepared for that, because that is where we're feeling a little more confident. Where we do not feel confident is if we're going to get any type of winter precip out of that. Now, when you have a long string of cold air, chances are there that you could get some bits of moisture that come through at times. But again, as I told you, it is way too early to know exactly how much, if any, snow we can get. So those are just the patterns and the trends that we're going to be watching through the month of January. Keep it with us here at 11 at Live. And if anything does look like it could develop where we have more confidence on that, then of course we will let you know. Take a look at the European model. Now we look at multiple models here. The European model, this is just going to go out for about 5 to 7 days, shows us dry weather conditions going through the weekend. It's just going to be really cold here. What we will be watching though, going in from Sunday, even though it's going to be chilly with temperatures in the 40s, it's going to be above freezing as moisture comes in on Sunday. So this looks like it's going to be in the form of rain. What we'll have to watch is on the back edge of this system, still with more cold air into next week, as to whether or not we can have a little bit of mix there on Monday morning. Those chances are low. Doesn't look like it'd be widespread, but that's really the first little bit of entertaining that we have here to do with that potential for any type of winter precip. And I know a lot of the models that people have been sharing on social media actually go toward the middle of January, showing a better chance for snow. But again, we do not know that just quite yet. And we will keep watching that very closely for you as we get closer to it. But we do feel comfortable with the fact that we are experiencing, or will be experiencing, some cold air multiple days and even multiple weeks at temperatures that will be trending below the average, and then some of those days will just be downright frigid. So enjoy the warm day that we're going to see here on Tuesday. Temperatures near 65 degrees. Then we cool to 52 on Wednesday. There you see the mornings on Thursday and Friday at or just below freezing with highs in the lower 50s. Saturday morning we're down to 28 with a high only in the 40s. 29 on Sunday morning with a high of 49. Some showers coming in. We're thinking late Sunday, but again, temperatures above freezing, still above freezing on Monday morning as well. with more showers around, highs near 51, but we'll watch far north Georgia early Monday for that potential for a few of those flurries around. So keep it with us right here from the 11 Alive Weather Impact Team. We will give you updates really throughout the beginning and middle of January as we get more computer model data in there, showing a little more consistency and confirming some of the trends that we're seeing.